I think with AI taking over a lot of the market in a lot of different industries, and blue collar world is going to be the one that's going to be least affected by it. Trades. I mean, getting in here and working on AC units or plumbing or electrical or garage doors, it's going to be hard for AI to take over any of that.
This podcast is sponsored by Action Coaching. If you're a home service business owner, ask yourself this: are you constantly chasing new leads or just keeping the business growing? Ben Jordan built a $100 million plumbing and HVAC company. Inside the Action Group, he teaches contractors how to create recurring revenue, strengthen leadership, improve sales, and build systems that reduce the owner's day-to-day involvement. Members get weekly coaching, practical templates, proven scripts, and strategies designed specifically for home service businesses. If you want to get out of the truck, build something that runs without you and creates real wealth, check out the Action Group on School and book your free consulting call. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Builder's Bible. I'm joined by Brandon Davis. Brandon, we actually tried to do this a couple weeks ago, and we had some internet issues, so we're hopping back on. And one of the cool things is I get to check in with Brandon. I've seen a lot of his posts on Facebook, and he keeps adding locations to his company, ProStar Garage Doors, and they are booming. And so I'm excited to kind of check in with him, hear about the progress. Brandon, tell us a little bit about the company and how it got started.
I've worked in the business for a very long time, since 2007, just as a service technician, and was learning the business that way, and working for a company in Dallas. And I did it for a long time, did their training program just as a technician for the longest time. And honestly, I went through a nasty divorce, and she really pissed me off to an extent that I couldn't do nothing. I wasn't going to be anything. And this was back in 2017, 18. And I'm like, and it just, I don't know. She did really well. And she was definitely the breadwinner of the family. We have a lot of kids. So I stayed home and did not stayed home, but I still worked, but she just really beat me down on a sense. So when we went through that divorce, I found, I can't express to you, like I found my new wife, who was the complete opposite. She's like, oh, you can do it. You believe in me. And like, even though my wildest dreams, like I come up with some wild stuff about what I want and how, she's like, she believed in me. She's like, you can do it. I'm like, even me had doubting some of the stuff in myself. I had some doubts on could I do it or not. And she was like, no, you got this. But having the right woman behind you, as opposed to the one the wrong one, it was life changing for me to have someone that just propped me up, believe in me, and just said, go live your dreams and go knock them out. So I did. I started out in 2019 and started the company, and it just, in 2020 COVID hit, and it just, people were at home doing projects, and it just launched. And then I was playing catch up for the longest time for like the past 3 or 4 years. It was such a rocket ship. I'm just trying to hold on for dear life of business as it growing. And then, I don't know, finally got control of it. And then now it's exploded the last couple of years for sure.
What's been what do you think the biggest thing has been? What's the reason for the explosive growth?
I hooked up I work with over 100 roofing companies in the Metroplex of Dallas. And I started out with one. The one company I started out with ended up being one of the biggest in the country. And they were growing at a rapid pace as well. And I was just trying to help them out with some garage door stuff. And I started learning exactly what they're wanting. And then like a couple of their, sales reps broke off, went to other companies, or they started their own companies. And I just went with them and continued on. And then I found out, exactly, as a trade, as a sub, what they wanted. So I just kind of built my company around everything that they were looking for when it comes to price point, communication, availability on the turnaround time. And pricing was a big thing, but I started negotiating with all my suppliers. I have builder grade pricing with every supplier in Dallas. And what that does for me, I'm not married to one company. So let's say you need some doors or whatever, and it's a door that's kind of abnormal. I can call every manufacturer, someone's going to have it in stock, where a lot of companies are just married to one. And if that's not in stock, they got to do a special order. I don't want to be the trade that holds up a deal when it comes to these roofers. They want to get in, knock out their roof. The sub stuff needs to be done pretty quickly so they can get paid. If you're the trade that's holding up, it's like, damn. So I try to be extremely quick on my turnaround times. And the moment that roof goes on, I'm knocking out the other stuff. When I say other stuff, we do garage doors. That's where I started at. But we bought out a gutter company, and we're starting a fence, car washing and staining, and then we're doing window rescreen. So a lot of the sub work that they do, we're going to go ahead and do for them. So instead of having 5 different subs to do 5 different trades, you have one. That's what I'm doing. So,
it's really interesting. I've talked to a lot of garage door guys, and a lot of them are doing, and I know you are too, some direct client acquisition, but I haven't seen one that's growing as fast as you are. And it seems like a lot of that is just partnering with roofers, which makes total sense to me. Like, you get hit by a hailstorm, garage door is going to be one of the things affected.
Dallas is the most competitive market when it comes to roofing. There is not a more competitive marketing. And then then also the roofing companies are growing to other cities. So if their main hub is here in Dallas, which it seems like a lot of them are, and then they're growing to Houston, Austin, Oklahoma City, San Antonio, all over the country where the hailstorms are hitting, I can go with them. So all my suppliers are there and my roofers are there. So just finding my guys to go up there and knock out the jobs, which we just expanded to Oklahoma City last week.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. What all goes into launching a new location? I mean, is there a ton of logistics, finding an office, finding staff? Like, what all goes into your brain space? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing about garage doors is the suppliers store all of our stuff. So we don't actually need a physical location for anything. It's not like we're going to set up there and it's just going to be for install purposes. I'm not going to, at least not at the moment, going to start like doing service work up there. It's just going to be installs for the builders and roofers we work for. So when it comes to, and it's really just, when I say staff, it's just the installers is finding the good subs up there that we work with. And a lot of them we can find with our suppliers, because suppliers deal with them all. So I can find good, and we'll send a guy or two up there from Dallas to Oklahoma City, just make sure that the work's getting done correctly, make sure the guys that we're hiring up there are what we're looking for. And then, so once we get some dialed in, the roofers will send us all the jobs. We have our suppliers up there. Pretty easy after that.
Yeah, I love that. This episode is brought to you by Corberry Digital. If you own an HVAC, plumbing, electrical, roofing, or home service business and you're tired of wondering where your next lead is coming from, you need to check out Corberry Digital. Corberry specializes exclusively in helping home service companies dominate their local markets through SEO, Google Ads, local service ads, websites, content marketing, and lead generation systems that actually produce a measurable ROI. Their team doesn't just focus on clicks and impressions. They help contractors lower customer acquisition costs, increase qualified leads, and build a marketing engine that scales. What I like about Corberry is they understand the blue collar space. They aren't trying to be everything to everyone. Their entire focus is helping trades businesses win in their backyard and generate more profitable jobs. If you're looking to grow your business, improve your online visibility, and build a marketing system that works, visit Corberry.com and schedule a strategy session with their team. That's Corberry.com. Tell them you heard about them on the podcast. What's up, everybody? This podcast is sponsored by Grimes Financial Advisors. You've spent time and energy building a successful business, but here's the question. Do you have a real retirement plan or just a pile of investments? Our friends at Grimes Financial Advisors specialize in helping business owners and families create a clear roadmap for retirement through their proprietary retirement blueprint. Instead of focusing only on investments, they look at the entire picture: income planning, taxes, long-term care, legacy planning, and making sure your money is actually working for the life you want to live. I've gotten to know Dustin personally. One of the things that I respect most about him is he believes every financial decision should fit into a bigger plan. You shouldn't just chase returns. So whether you're 5 years from retirement or simply want a second opinion on your financial strategy, I highly recommend reaching out to Dustin and his team. Visit Grimes Financial Advisors to schedule your consultation and start building your own retirement blueprint. Let's talk about, you were just talking about Google for a sec before we hopped on.
Oh,
talk to us about your, tell us about, you were just talking about how you want to be diversified in your marketing strategy. So talk to us about, obviously the partnership with roofers. Where else are you acquiring clients? And then how are you trying to have a balanced strategy with your marketing approach?
Sure. You're going to, like, for us, I want to be very diversified on every source of the business we got come in. So whether it's a retail side or like service work is the margins are really high for that. And it's a constant cash flow for us. So it's throughout the entire year. It's constant cash flow of helping customers with their broken doors or whatever. And that's where I started at. That's how I, started in the industry, was doing the service work. But you can't grow very fast in that. I mean, I guess you could if you had just an endless amount of money. You could throw at advertising and marketing. But most companies don't. I don't have the money to do that kind of stuff. So you got to do it in different ways for us. And it's like we're growing by growing offices and setting up Google offices in each city. And that'll translate to long-term success as long as we continue to build those in each city. Like we dominate Frisco. If we can do it in other cities around, doing the exact same way we started with Frisco with ProStar, do it in say Salina or Coppell or Plano or wherever. It's going to be competitive, but if we can do that, you can definitely dominate. But being very diversified and not just getting like, let's say Google, for instance, when we first started, they were the ones that were feeding all of our business. If Google were to go down, which it did in the very beginning, it hurt. Like it was majority of our company, majority of our business was coming there. And once it went down, we had to find other sources of ways to get it. So at that point, like, what do you do? I learned that from then. So now I'm going to be very diversified. So we have builders, we have our roofers, we have our retail side. I mean, then even on retail side, there's different ways that we get source of income. You can't just rely on Google. Now there's Yelp, there's Thumbtack, there's Home Advisor or Angie's or whatever they want to call themselves now. And then obviously any kind of social media stuff and next door apps, things like that, referrals, all that stuff is great. It's all ways of getting more business. But yeah, diversification is so key. And I can't just rely on roofers. So what if a hailstorm doesn't hit one year? Then I'm going to be devastated.
Yeah.
Then so that's where I think, us growing in the builder side is going to be, because it does get slower in the wintertime when it comes to roofers, where if it was the builder side, it doesn't. Our builders continue to roll up. We have about 12 builders and they're just constantly going all year round. There's no slow part. There's no slow season. It just goes. So definitely want to try to get more into the builder side for sure.
What's your biggest challenge right now in your business? What's the biggest barrier you're
right now is damn Google. They knocked me. Like I don't know. We've grown to 4 different offices. We have 4 offices, and right now, boom, all of them are down in Google, and that's a challenge to get them back up again. I had to hire a company to get us, because they suspended all of our accounts. So that's been a challenge. But as a company thing, really just it was a challenge for me to let go. I'm so hands-on when it comes to, I started from the ground up with this company. So trusting people to do things that, you've always done has been a challenge. It's like my baby. So anything that comes with the brand ProStar, I'm very like, I don't just trust anybody to be the face of the company, and our service technicians are the face. They're out there, handling with customers and stuff every day. So I'm very cautious about who I hire, and even like marketing stuff. I'm very cautious about what kind of brand, where they want the brand to go. So it's very difficult for me to let go and trust people to do the right thing. But it's also as an owner, you have to hire the right people too. So, and that's kind of what it's been, a challenge for me for sure is finding the right people that trust you or that you trust to grow at the rate you want to go.
I mean, that seems to be the number one problem for anybody in the blue collar space, hiring and maintaining skilled labor. I mean, there's sometimes I get off a podcast, I just want to give this guy a hug. I'm like, man, he's gone through it. His number 2 just went on their own shingle, and it's hard, Brandon. I don't see a world where trade school is going to get sexy again. Like I don't see that happening. So
I heard Trump talk about taking money from Harvard and putting it in trade schools. So thought that was kind of a good thing. So, but trade schools is going to be, I think it's going to have a rebound. I think with AI taking over a lot of the market in a lot of different industries, and blue collar world is going to be the one that's going to be least affected by it. Trade school. I mean, getting in here and working on AC units or plumbing or electrical or garage doors, it's going to be hard for AI to take over any of that. I mean, on the back end, or talking about scheduling and stuff like that, it does help. Marketing, we're not hiring a whole marketing team anymore. AI does a lot of that for you, so the price point's been really good for us. So I think there's a lot of things that AI has helped us with, but there's also but I don't think there's going to have affect us. I think more people are going to get into the trade world because it's going to be, a path to success. Without, what are you going to do once AI takes over a lot of the market? There's going to be a lot of things that are gone. I mean, blue collar world is going to be one of the big options out there, and I think trade schools are going to reap the benefits of that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that's why PE is rushing into the space, is because they see it as something that's not going to get replaced by AI. We'll talk about where are you guys at now in terms of revenue or sales, and then where do you want to be in 3-5 years?
Yeah, every year I set an unrealistic goal, and for some reason, I don't know, we seem to hit it. It's like I've worked my ass off all year, and we hit the goal, we exceed the goal, and I'm like, there's no way that we're going to go and do the same thing this year, because But then again, like we're up 80% this year from last year. And I thought last year we knocked it out of the park. And then this year we're up 80% from last year. And I'm like, but it doesn't even seem like it. So I don't know. I think we're also hiring more people as it's coming in. So I feel like and for me, it's because I was always hands-on. I was still out there in the fields, and now I'm not in the field anymore. So I feel like I'm not being as productive, but yet my production is not. It's sad for me because I'm a guy that wants to be in the field with the boys and working, and I'm more productive in an office, and I hate being in an office. So I have a really nice office that I have in Salina, but I go there, get some peace and quiet just to do some when I need to be alone, just knock things out. But I'm usually at the gym, or I work office out of the gym, or sometimes I'll just sit in my truck and just grind away, sending out estimates and emails and stuff. But yeah, it's I don't know. I think the growth over the next couple of years for us, at the pace it's going, I'm hoping to hit. We hit 3 million in garage doors this past year, but then as a company for ProStar itself, we hit 4.1 as for including gutters, because we bought a gutter company last year. Matter of fact, our gutter company was surprising. We did over $1 million, and we started in quarter two of 2025 and still hit $1 million. So I thought that was pretty impressive. Just tapping into the garage, to the roofing world that I already had. So I don't know. Hoping this year we have a set goal for garage doors at 5 million. So we'll see how that goes, and then 2 million for our gutters. So we're gonna hit 7 total. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, 10 million is the one that's on my head now. So they always talk about the hitting that million is the first, most difficult part, and after that it gets a lot easier hitting to the 2, and which is right. I spent a while hitting that 1 million mark. Then once I hit it, getting to 2 was a lot quicker, and then from 2 to 3 was like that. So yeah, I think hitting 5 this year should hit, and then obviously got my eyes on 10 in the next 3 years. So that will be a pretty big goal. So we'll see how it goes.
This episode is brought to you by 10X Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10X Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker. They only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no-brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high-income business owner or professional and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long-term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team.
Anything else about the business that we haven't talked about that gets you fired up?
Well, it's hell seasons here now. We got we were like, I feel like being in Dallas, which is usually the mecca of it all. Like we usually get pretty hit hard for the big cities out there. I'm sure there's areas in Oklahoma or wherever that probably get hit pretty hard. But for some reason, Dallas this year, like last year, we had a hailstorm in February, in March, and April. It was just like one after another. And then this year, nothing. Not February, March, and finally at the end of April, we got hit. Finally. And it was a good one. I mean, honest, okay. No, hopefully no one got hurt, and I hope everybody's okay with all the hailstorms and stuff. But from a business standpoint, it's good for us when hell hits, and business. It's going to definitely it's going to be a good season for sure, because there are some places that got absolutely rocked. So yeah. I mean, they got absolutely smoked. So it's going to be a good season for that. So that gets me fired up when that. I mean, there's not really a whole lot in the garage door world that will get you fired up, but seeing hailstorms and knowing that the amount of business about to come through is going to be. It's going to be a good season for sure. So I'm excited to see.
That's awesome, man. I love it. Well, I know I always see you post on Facebook about your the lake life that you live. Tell us about your love for getting out on the lake, and what do you like to do to.
What'd you say now? You just cut out. What'd you say?
Well, I know one of the things that you like to do in your free time and to decompress is to go out on the lake. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I love to live life to the absolute fullest. And if you're friends with me on social media, and I've actually tried to tone down. My wife's like, you people you work with on here, you can't post all the things you do. So I try not to post. I don't know. I post quite a bit, but there's especially if you scroll back to like in the summer times, because there'll be a lot of, our lake, our lake days are really fun. So we have a whole group of us, about, 20 of us that hang out a lot. And we actually travel together. We'll go to we'll vacation and stuff together, but we have a really fun lifestyle when it comes to the weekends. I for some reason, I still think I'm in my 20s until the next day. We went out to Shreveport this past weekend, and we went for a birthday party. Went to a concert Friday night, casino. And, man, I partied like a rock star Friday night, but Saturday felt like I was 50. It was good. But it was good. It was a good trip. We had a good time. But yeah, my summers and weekends are a lot of fun. So, I decompress by being at the lake, or just, hanging out with friends, partying. I don't know. I like to live life to the absolute fullest. And I noticed that a lot of my roofers do the same thing. I was really skeptical about friending any of them because of how wild my lifestyle can be, but they're just like me. They do the exact same shit. So it's actually turned out to be conversational piece at times. So it's been nice.
I love it, man. Well, anything else before we hop off? Anything else you want to share?
No, I mean, it's been now that I know we spoke a couple weeks ago, and it was like, I was like, man, I hope something hits. I hope, hail season coming up. And, but now that it has been, it's been great. Phones blowing up. And usually it takes a few weeks before the trickles down effect to us. So like the roofers right now are just, they don't ever, I think for the next probably 10 days, in the last probably 2 weeks, they have not slept. They have just been running and gunning. And man, those guys are some workhorses. I know that you have interviewed a few of them that I work with, and man, those guys are just beast mode, man. I think, sometimes I feel like, I'm a high level of intensity and just, go work mode. And man, some of those guys, man, they take the cake, man. They make me, feel like I need to step up my game and motivate me more though. But whether it's because a lot of them are still, they're in the gym a lot, just like me, but man, they're like next level. So I feel like sometimes I got to step up my game to match them on their work ethic and high intensity, their training for the body, whatever. And just motivational, man. A lot of them are just great guys to like listen to them talk about business and life, man. It's I don't know. I find myself listening to a lot of more of their stuff than I used to, but for business wise, it really helps out a lot. So I love their motivational stuff that they put out there. So it's been good stuff.
I love it, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Where can people find out more about your business?
Yeah, man. Appreciate that. Well, it would be Google, but that's down right now. So normally, I'd say social media or, just ProStar garage doors, gutters, but probably social media would be a good place to kind of catch on and watch. So friend me, it's Brandon Davis. I'm friends with Andrew. Just hit me up. Love to talk business or boating. That's always a fun thing. So love that stuff.
Well, Brandon, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Don't go anywhere because I want to keep talking, but thanks for coming on the show.